Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I really hope you all had an amazing week. You might experience or feel some sort of a difference in my background, and that is because right now I'm attending a seminar. It is a 2 day seminar, and we are allocated rooms for two people. We have selected the rooms in such a way that two people can fit into one room, and this is the room that has got assigned to me along with my roommate, and she has assigned herself for some another class as well. There is multiple topics which are going on, and you could select which all topic you want to attend or enroll for, and some things which, if they are not interesting for you, you can just skip those, or probably say that I'm not in for this particular lecture or a class. And whenever you move out from your normal group of people, maybe your normal group of friends or your colleagues, and you go out in such a way where, like, you're meeting a larger group of people, you get to experience certain things at a different level. You see different personalities, and from each personality, you can learn something. Okay, something that can be helping you to understand maybe a human nature much in depth. If you are not a psychology student, not everyone has learned human psychology, but when you go around and you interact with different people, you get to learn some different aspects of each individual, or some sort of a common nature that certain group of people have. And something similar happened with my interaction from morning till now, 4 o'clock. And the whole, setup was such that, again, when you're coming in for seminars, there are people coming from different companies. So it's like a lot of the people are unknown. You might be from a same domain, but again, interacting with somebody who is completely outsider for you, like you don't know anything about that person. And morning when we started the class, and we had this, initial, like, sort of small tea break around like 10:45 or 11. So there was this one girl, okay, sitting in the same row as I was, and she was, like, telling somebody who is, like, known to her, probably from her company as well, like telling something about her husband, that he came to drop me today, this, that, and a lot of good things about him. Again, it same thing repeated during the lunchtime. She was, like, continuously telling stuff about her husband. And I was having a picture in mind. She's so lucky, she's really got a good husband, maybe because she's praising him so much. And by this tea time, like around 3:45 or 3:30, we just had a tea break. And I happened to know this girl with whom she was having so much of conversation. We came to a conclusion that even I sort of had somebody who knows her. And we were like, do you know this one? She was working with me in first company, and okay, all that other conversation of trying something common between two of us. And then I just happened to ask, like, casually, I think your friend is, like, either really deeply in love with the husband, or she's really got a good husband. She has been praising him since the morning time. And she just goes silent, and she gives me a smile, and then she's like, you know what? She has this habit of telling a small thing what her husband does in a big fashion to everyone. And then I'm like, okay, sometimes people like to, show that their person is really whatever nice. That's a common nature, maybe in some people. They want to make it way beyond and show. But then she says, you know what? If you meet her, just ask her, like, what are you working, and what is your husband working into? And then I'm like, why should I, like, that will be like a bit personal, right? And then she goes and she says, her husband, that girl who was, like, praising her husband, he is having no job since probably more than a year or two. And before anybody can ask her anything about her husband, what is he doing, what is he earning, how it is, she'll try to cover up with all the other things. Try to show him that he's really whatever, good, nice, and etc. So that nobody goes to that level of asking, what is he doing? And this was something I had heard from my elders also in the family, that When people want to hide something, hide some fault of theirs, or just don't want that picture to come in public eye, they try to give a huge cover up. This is something people do in personal life, and I've seen sometimes people doing a similar thing in their professional life as well. If you have a really good talking skill, if you really know how to word your all your words together properly, then even if you have 90% of work not done and you have just done 10% of work, I'm talking about in professional life, there are so many people who are good in showing that that 10% of work was good enough for covering their 90% of work which is undone. And at the same time, if you're unlucky, and if you, I won't say if you're unlucky, but if you don't have that skill of talking and trying to convince others, then even if you have completed 90% of your work and your 10% of your work is left, to be completed, still people might just focus more on the 10% and might not even be able to focus on your 90% work that is done, because you haven't been able to show your 90% of work which you have done. And sometimes the annoying thing among certain people, some people have this habit of, okay, they are good in hiding their own faults. They can nicely use, their life might be, again, like this, in a similar fashion, like 90% it might be a mess, 10% their life might be nice, but then they use this 10% in such a way, and they like flaunt it so much that people forget, or the focus goes away from the 90% of mess that they have in their life, or they are able to cover up their faults, their whatever the wrong thing that is going on in their life, with just the 10% of good thing and a very good skill of talking. Again, the annoying part that comes is the same people can go out and try and point out issues in other people's life who may be in a way better position, but just that they're that 10% of thing, or whatever, 10-20% of uh, things which are not going good in life, or some shortfalls that they have, they try to erase it, and they show like, Arey, your life is not good, and you are living a miserable life, though they might be in a way worse situation than the other people. Still, because they're good in talking, they go out and they hide their own whatever the mess that is there in their life, and then they try to sort of pick other people's mess up and show that you have a bigger mess than me, right? That is something really annoying which I have observed in so many people. If you have interacted with if you know some people really closely, and you have been there with them for quite number of years, you realize that, okay, sometimes people say, right, people might not say right on their face, but sometimes people say it back that this person is focusing on negative things happening in somebody else's life, and not being aware about where their own state has reached. And I don't know what what gives people a boost to do all these things, because generally a normal person would have tried to get their lives in a better position, reduce the mess in their own life and try to make it more better. But there are some who might not be correcting the mess in their own life, but still going out and trying to find out whose life is not good, and take that not good part out and make it a big and show it in front of everyone. And there is this another thing, what I've observed. Rather than sometimes you going out and asking them, like, how is it? How is the whole thing going? They might directly start asking you with those questions where it is like maybe not so right in your life right now. Maybe your professional life is not right, or maybe there is some issue going in your personal life, and they might directly point out to that and start the conversation, so that you don't come back to them asking, how about you? Because they know it is not in a good place, so they don't want to answer that question. So before somebody asks them any question regarding that aspect of their life, they'll directly jump into asking the not so good things which are happening in your life, which are known maybe to others as well. So this is something I have learned, guys, that not everyone who pretends to show that everything is going best in their life is actually having a best time. And this is was a classic example, somebody was just keeping on flaunting something about their person, whereas a basic whole question about that person was not in a good place, right? So that nobody asked her anything about the professional side of her husband's life. She was just continuously flaunting that, he's doing this, he had cooked for me, he came to drop me, pick me, whatever, he does this, that, and all, which is nice. And but you cannot be like saying it so much that somebody who is hearing it is also like, is it real that, is this all really very real? Because usually I feel, okay, this is probably my way of thinking, or I feel generally people don't tend to tell all the good things that are happening in their life, right? If there is a bit of normal, the life is going on the normal terms, then people are just gonna be like okay with it. And usually people don't discuss about their personal life at professional level, at least. But if somebody is going out of their way to make sure that somebody's image is like, at the top level, with the basic thing, the person not doing the basic thing what they're supposed to do, it raises a lot of doubts. And people who are hearing it also will at some point feel that, something is little bit odd, right? And okay, keeping all these things aside, the lesson that again I have taken out from all of this experience of mine is, please do not judge your own life by looking at somebody, by just looking or just observing somebody else, that these people are at such a better place, they don't have any problem, they have got such a whatever nice partner, nice job, it could be anything. Basically, when we judge people about their life, is we are judging them from what we can see at the front end. It is not what exactly is going on in the background, right? So it might be that you are in that state, where your life is best 80 to 90%, it is in a really better state, just that you are not able to showcase it, or you don't want to showcase it. And the one with whom you are comparing it with, that person might be having 80 to 90% of their life in mess. And they are good in talking, they know how to frame their sentences well, such that they are showing that 10 to 20% of nice things that are happening in their life, they're stretching it over to cover the mess that is there, that 80 to 90% of mess that is there in their life, they're trying to cover it up in a nicely way, or in nice good words, in good sentences. Okay, so this is the thing, guys, that not everyone is very smart enough to hide their flaws, but there are certain, people who are like have mastered that art of how they can either like completely hide it or cover it up under something else, and just show it to you that, everything is fine and everything is best. Okay, so don't compare your life with anyone else, or don't compare it, don't take other people's words and actions and whatever that they're showing out on probably social media to be very real. And be grateful for your current life, your current situation, and try to improve it. If there is some things which need improvement, try to improve it, but just don't leave under that impression that only my life is bad and the rest all are having fun and the rest all have got the best of everything. Okay, so this is the lesson that I take for today. I'll see you all soon. Till then, have a great week ahead. Bye bye.